Hello YouTube, Kazinkinoko here, back with another pickup video. And this time I have a bunch of Master System and Mega Drive titles. I also have two Xbox 360 games, and towards the end of the video some rare NES titles. And first off, the Sega stuff that I picked up at a second-hand shop in Berlin, and I got them for quite a decent price, between 3 and 5 euros for most of them, and some games were also like 2-3 euros. And some rare titles here, like this one, the Addams Family for the Master System, which is quite a rare game. Then we have Space Harrier 2, which is a bit of a classic, I guess, very common title to find, and a good title at that. Paperboy for the Mega Drive, and I used to play this a lot on the PC back then, and I thought it was a lot of fun to play it, but I haven't really played it much since then. So, then we have Captain Silver for the Master System, and this is a rare title and quite a decent game. It's a bit of it's like a side-scrolling action game, and I already had a loose copy of this, but now I have the box as well. The same with Speedball, I had a loose copy of this as well, and I used to play this on the Amiga back then, and it's a really a fun game, one of the few sports games that I can kind of enjoy, along with Nintendo World Cup on the NES. So good title to check out there, better played on the Amiga, I think. This is actually a very rare game to find in Europe, at least according to RetroCollect.com, California Games 2. And this was actually one of my favorite games as a kid. I had this on the PC, and really enjoyed the downhill snowboard event, where the guy gets flown up to the top of a hill with a helicopter and rides the mountain all the way down. Quite a good game to pick up. Cyborg Hunter, I've never played this before. Alien Storm, this is a common and cheap title to find on the Master System, and I would guess that's because it's also released on the Mega Drive. There's a better version on the Mega Drive where you can play as 2 players. This is a beat 'em up, by the way, but on the Master System you can only play 1 player, so the Mega Drive version is the one to pick up. But I'm trying to go for a complete Master System collection, so that's why I picked it up. And then we have a loose cartridge in the box here for an action RPG for the Mega Drive. That's Wonder Boy 3 Monsters Lair. And never played it, but I've heard that the Wonder Boy games for the Mega Drive are all quite good action RPGs. Then we have Special Criminal Investigation, also known as Chase HQ, from Taito. Never played it. Strider 2. And I also picked up a loose cartridge, and that's Golvelius. I think it's got the undertitle In the Valley of Doom or something. And the reason I picked this up is because I've heard it's a bit of a hidden gem for the system. It's an action RPG that plays a bit like Zelda 2, so it's a side-scrolling one, and yeah, it's supposed to be a really good title, so I've been wanting to try that one. And also in the same store where I picked up the Sega games, I also got a box copy of Advance Wars 2 Black Hole Rising, and I'm quite a fan of the Advance Wars games. I finished the first one on the GBA, and I've also played through the 4th one on the DS. I do prefer the cartoony graphics of the first 3 games, though, to the more dark and realistic visuals of the 4th game. But these are really good, what would you call them, like strategy, turn-based strategy game. Definitely recommend it if you're into that kind of game. And then I picked up 2 titles for the Xbox 360. I was kind of... I've got quite a library of Xbox 360 games now. I've got like 40 or 50 games already, but I don't really have any JRPGs, so I decided to pick some up. like Final Fantasy 13 here. And I was looking on the internet for tips on which games, which JRPGs are the best for the system, which one should I pick up. And most people actually mentioned Lost Odyssey as one of the best JRPGs on the system. And it's a bit of an old school turn-based role-playing game along the lines of Final Fantasy. Some of the same people that made Final Fantasy made this game, and I'm about 5 hours into it now, and I have to say I'm not really into it so far. I think it's very slow, and it's kind of difficult as well. The first boss fight is really too difficult for a first boss fight, I think. And a lot of people mention this game as one to check out for its storyline and its characters, and because of the dream sequences, which are kind of small novels, that sets this game apart from other RPGs. But I'm not really into those parts of the game, so I don't know if this game is really for me. I think the story is kind of uninteresting to me. It's cliched. The characters are a bit annoying, and they're quite cliches as well for this style of game. And I think the dream sequences are really kitschy, and I can't be bothered to read them because I think it's not really good writing, you know. And if I'm gonna sit down and just read something, I'd rather read a good book than, you know, to read some kind of shitty fantasy literature within a JRPG here. So I'm gonna give this game some more hours and see if I can get into it, but so far not really for me. So yeah, let's see. Then for the 3 NES games, first off we have a rare title with Mario as the protagonist, and it's one of the early games, Black Label, and that's Wrecking Crew, which is a rare game in Europe actually. I don't know if it's rare in the US, but it's rare here, and I've never seen it around, and I've never tried it, so yeah, one of the old classics, I guess. And then we have a very rare title, and this was released all over the world, but in Europe it was only released in Scandinavia and in Spain, I believe, which is probably why it's a very rare title to pick up here. And that's Werewolf the Last Warrior. And I think this is not so hard to come by in Scandinavia. I've already seen a few copies of this around. Yeah, it's I don't really know much about this game, but it was 200 Norwegian crowns, like around 25 euros, which is quite a decent price for that, I think. And I paid the same for this. This is Willow, and this is a hidden gem and also a very rare game in Europe, and it's an overhead action RPG in the style of Zelda, and it looks really good, has really nice graphics, and it's a game that I've been looking for. I've been wanting to try this for a while. So when I found it for 25 euros, I thought, okay, that's a decent price. I decided to pick it up. It does go for a bit more on eBay. I've seen it go for above 30 euros. Yeah, definitely want to look out for, I guess. I'm looking forward to try that. So that's it for my video game pickups this time. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video, and until next time.